The impedance check on the PACE 203 is a useful parameter to have when looking for sources of error, particularly at the moment when the heart wires are placed in the heart muscle and then connected to the device for the first time. If, for example, the stimulus thresholds are very high or if the sensing is unavailable, then there's often a discussion between the cardiac surgeon and the anesthesiologist about what could be the cause. Does the problem lie at the pacer end when the cables are connected, or does it lie at the end of the heart where the wires are anchored into the heart tissue? The impedance can help make a decision as to where the problem lies. First, you set the stimulation rate a little higher and then the heart rate so that the pacemaker stimulates. To measure the impedance, you only have to turn on one of the controls for the stimulation amplitudes. This also works when the device is locked. If you turn the controls for the ventricular stimulation amplitude briefly, you can see the information here in the display. Ventricle, and an equation with Ohm's law. The value above the fraction line is the stimulation amplitude in volts. The value below the fraction line shows the measured impedance. It is given in ohms. An impedance value of approximately 500 ohms is desirable. A value in the window between 200 and 1,200 ohms is still acceptable. The impedance in the atrium can be measured in the same way. So if you have a problem with sensing or the stimulus threshold, turn the control for atrial stimulation amplitude briefly. And the display shows atrium, and under the fraction line again, the measured impedance, this time in the atrium. Again, the impedance value should ideally be around 500 ohms, because then a good electrical contact to the heart can be expected. Here we show how measured impedance values can indicate possible sources of error. If the impedance is very low, so 200 ohms and lower, then there must be a short circuit somewhere. The heart muscle should be checked to see if the wires could touch each other in any way. If the impedance is high, so more than 1,200 ohms, it probably means that the heart wire is not properly anchored in the muscle tissue, or that the heart wire may have been placed in infarct-damaged tissue, where conductivity is not very good. If you see very high impedance values in the order of 5,000 ohms, then the message electrode disconnected is shown on the display. Then you should check at the end of the pacer whether the plugs of the cables are securely in the connection sockets of the pacemaker. By turning the collets, you can ensure the connectors are tight. That should solve the problem. If it doesn't, check the entire length of the connections from the device along the cable to the heart wires. Follow the lead right to the heart to see if there is an interruption somewhere.